And let's have a closer look at those front pages, starting with the Daily Mail, which seems to have morphed into the Guardian, Steve.
They've gone with night anti-hate marchers face down the thugs. So all day we've been having loads of news, loads of push alerts on the phone saying like 100 areas of the UK are likely to be epicentres of riots. And it's not so far, touch wood and all that, manifested into anything. Loads of news.
That's for Micah.
Is it? Well, he can have it later. But the thousands of protesters took to the streets to then protest against the far-right rioters.
Yeah.
And they're crediting this with stopping it. Isn't it more likely that if you'd planned to do a little bit of rioting later and all day you were like, they already know where we're going to be, you turn up to riot, not to get arrested. Do you know what I mean? So I don't necessarily think these marches... It would be great if the actual news was police had stopped riots rather than a riot stops a riot. We're heading towards, like, the only thing that can stop a bad guy with a riot is a good guy with a riot.
Yeah, and these don't necessarily look like good guys with a riot. I mean, I've seen footage in Sheffield of armed Muslim and far-left mobs chasing police down the street and the police running away, which they always seem to do when it's a certain type of riot. And surely what's happened here is... this is trolls, like in Birmingham the other day when... Jess Phillips defended the Muslim mobs coming out and harassing the Sky News crew and stabbing the tyres on the Sky vehicle. It was trolls who said there's going to be a far-right riot here. And there wasn't, and it never materialised. Aren't these supposed far-left anti-hate marchers, who actually seem to do quite a bit of violence and thuggery themselves, aren't they guilty of spreading misinformation, which we're told is bad, and then going out in the streets to protest, which we're told is bad as well?
I think you missed the point. They're not spreading anything. The whole thing is so deeply entrenched. First of all, they need to stop this thing. Even no matter what side you're on, you can't have a country that's rioting like this. But on the other hand, the whole thing is so deeply against the poor English schlub, and he knows he's lost. That's why there's so many of these people, because you're only going to win if you're a member of the whatever it is, the anti-hate brigade. And if you
who are pretty hateful.
Yeah, who are pretty hateful, you're only going to win. So that the people who went out there initially are not going to go back out there.
And doesn't this suggest that some of the rioting that we saw might have actually been spontaneous rather than organised in advance, given that, we're told that this was all organised in advance and it didn't happen?
Well, the thing that's really shocking to me is when the head of the New York City, the London police, he basically he was asked a question he didn't want to hear about, and he basically damaged the reporter's microphone and threw it on the ground.
That clip, I've watched that clip loads of times. I've discussed that clip elsewhere, and it was more like handbags rather than some serious thing.
Do you know what? It might be handbags, but if you're the head of the London police, you can't do that. It's like
I totally agree, but you're selling it like the people haven't seen the clip. Like this, Mark Rowley comes out and he decks the guy and he asks a question and he holds him up.
He has to be held. He has to be held to a higher. The guy should be. The guy might.
Still a truthful level, though. Don't describe that clip.
I didn't say it. I said
he grabs it and
he did grab it.
I think that's intimidation of a journalist. I mean, that's a deplorable thing for the head of police.
Yes,
it did.
It's not that. It's wrong, but it is just, I've knocked it off, I'm an idiot.
Yes,
he's a bigger idiot for the bit where he says, like, I was trying to walk around it. It's just your first time using legs. You don't have to just do that, right? It was a bad excuse, but it's not like he's described it.
I described it perfectly. The people have seen it, and you can see it.
We can see it here.
There he goes.
So he grabs it, throws it. So that's criminal damage, and it's two-tier as well because the reporter's white. He wouldn't do that to an ethnic minority reporter. Yet more two-tier policing.
Away with it, he turns around and says, "I find your lack of faith disturbing." And the guy goes like this.
You're trying to make a joke about it. I think it's horrific. It is horrific. The guy should quit. He should be fired from his job. You can't have the guy who's head of the police.
Fired for different reasons, not for that.
And whatever it is.
As long as he's fired.